What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything you need to know about on a daily basis and what's going on here in our country, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below as it's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will keep you up to date here with everything you need to know about. And also, thanks so much for hitting the like button for us down below. Democrats are preparing to take a second run at Biden's spending plan, also previously known as the Build Back Better package, which is probably going to be renamed here. They're probably just going to rename it, which we really don't really know the official name here, but it's probably not going to keep the name Build Back Better package here going forward. Top Democrats and the White House are eyeing a revival of the stalled out tax and spending bill as the party tries to show deliverables to voters heading into the November election where they are facing tough political headwinds. Right now, a lot of polls show that Democrats are losing footing in the polls and are going to have a tough election here, not for the president. The president is not up for re-election, even though his poll numbers are down as well. But for the House, the Senate, and a lot of governor and mayor races here as well. The hopes of reviving Build Back Better, albeit significantly altered and likely with a different name, comes after Senator Joe Manchin, the Democrat senator from West Virginia, deep sixed a roughly $2 trillion bill that the House of Representatives passed late last year, but they have not voted on it in the Senate. Okay, so it was passed in the House, but it was not voted on in the Senate yet, as they have not been able to come to terms on it in the Senate, just so everybody's kind of clear on that. Since then, they've struggled with when or how to revive the issue, with most of the political oxygen focused on the Supreme Court vacancy and the Russian invasion of Ukraine and inflation. But Democrats are signaling they want to turn back to the spending plan that was meant to be the center of the stalled legislative agenda. White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain pointed to the reconciliation bill, which lets Democrats pass key priorities or pass this stimulus package without needing any Republican votes, as on the party's legislative to-do list, saying, quote, "We have to come back and figure out what formula works with the 50 to get it passed in the Senate," he just said in an interview on NBC. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, during a press conference, acknowledged that discussions are still relatively nascent between Democratic senators and Manchin, but said that clinching a spending deal is still a priority for the caucus, saying, quote, "We'd like to move a reconciliation bill and go as far as we can and get as much as we can done with 50 votes." Now, Senator Joe Manchin has well, flip-flopped here multiple different times. It really depends on what kind of mood you catch him in here on any given week. But he has recently signaled here that he would pass a bill with his support. He wants to give Republicans the chance to go over the bill, make amendments to the bill, even though it's likely that no Republicans will vote yes on it. He signaled that he wants to give them the full opportunity to go over it and make amendments to it, even though it's very likely that no Republicans will vote yes on it anyways. There is the possibility that potentially Mitt Romney could vote on it. That is one thing that has come up here. He's a moderate Republican senator, and Democrats have been kind of trying to potentially get his vote. So that is one thing. He is also has his own plan for $4,200 child tax credits. You can see here Mitt Romney has unveiled a plan to provide at least $3,000 per child with the child tax credit bill that he introduced. That does have several Republican senators that have backed it or a version of it. There's a multiple Republican senators that are in favor of some version of a child tax credit. With this, or you can also see here that his version of the bill also would give $4,200 for children up to age 6. So that would actually be $350 per month. Um, so that would actually be more money than the Democrats have previously given for children under the age of 6. That was previously $300 per month for a total of $3,600 per year. And also, um, the $3,000 per child would be the same amount. So there is several Republican senators that are in favor of a standalone bill for the child tax credits, albeit it would have work requirements and an income cap probably on how much you could make, probably lowering that as well. So, but the Democrats would have to probably break that away as a standalone bill and work with Republicans on that. And then they would probably be able to pass a child tax credit monthly check bill to restart that here this year. There is also a very similar bill from Democrats in Congress on the federal level that are pushing for $300 a month stimulus checks, you can see here, to help Americans struggling to help, or that are struggling, just pretty much everybody, right? To help pay for sky high gas prices. This is basically just a $300 per month stimulus check because. Really gas prices, inflation, and food prices are at an all-time high in the U.S. and around the world. Right now, food prices are actually at a global high worldwide. So we look at the price of gas, we look at the price of oil, and we also look at the price of food. Food prices are at a world high right now. It's not just the U.S., it's also the world. But we also have stimulus checks being pushed for not just child tax credits, but also on the federal level. We also have a bill, Democrats pushing for $300 a month stimulus checks, which would be for adults as well. So we have the child tax credits potentially could be passed, as well as really adult tax credits that they're calling anti inflation stimulus checks that could potentially also be $3,600 per year per person, or $7,200 for two adults because it's $300 per month. So that could really add up to a lot if they can get it passed. And remember that Democrats can pass this on their own through the reconciliation process. Okay. That's exactly how they passed the $1,400 third stimulus check with Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema. They both voted for it as well. So believe it or not, I know it's hard to say that, oh my God, Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema actually voted yes for something. But when President Biden came into office, that was the first bill that the Democrats passed, and they did it through the reconciliation process. Not a single Republican voted yes on this from the House or the Senate. And I'm not choosing sides here or anything. That's just the reality of things. But the Democrats did do that through the special reconciliation process. That's actually how the Republicans passed the 2017 Trump tax cuts as well, where not a single Democrat voted for anything as well, the Trump tax cuts. That's actually when former President Trump raised the child tax credits from $1,000 per child to $2,000 per child. Okay. And that's what the child tax credits will go back down to if they are not able to pass a bill here this year. So, and also just a quick reminder that to get the rest of the child tax credits, you do have to file a tax return. And today, April 18th, is the last day to file without penalty. Okay. But if you don't owe the IRS money, you can still file a late tax return and there will not actually be any penalty. So if you're owe a refund or if you're owed money, if the IRS owes you money, you can file it and not even have any penalty because there's no penalty if you don't owe the IRS any money. So just keep that in mind. Even if you owe the IRS money, the penalty will be small. So please still do it. But if you have children and you got the child tax credit last year, remember that the IRS or the IRS or the government still owes you $1,500 to $1,800 per child from last year, 2021, and you have to file a tax return to get the rest of that money, and you have to fill out your tax return correctly and claim that money. Okay, a lot of people don't realize that. Hopefully, you realize that from watching my show, or somebody that knows something about the government or tax has told you that, or if you have children or you have friends or family with children, share this video with them because a lot of people, the IRS has said that thousands and thousands, or I don't know, maybe even millions of people are not going to file taxes this year because there's just a lot of people that just don't file taxes. They don't make enough money to file taxes, and a lot of people are going to miss out on the extra $1,500 to $1,800, which is half of the child tax credits from last year, because they don't make enough money to file taxes every year, and a lot of people are not going to file taxes. So remember those child tax credit, those monthly checks, they started in July, so they only went from July to December for only half the year. Well, remember that the other half of the year, the January through June payments, those didn't start on a monthly basis. Those are going to come to you in the form of your tax refund check, okay? So you have to file a tax return to get that. So even if you're not normally a tax filer, you need to file this year if you have children to get that money. So file a tax return. Talk to somebody who knows your specific situation, or walk into an H&R Block or tax center, or your local tax center. Talk to somebody who knows you. Just walk in there and get some advice because it could mean $1,500 to $1,800 per child. And I'm here to just help as many people as I can. And you don't want to miss out on that money, especially if you have any friends or family that have children, and if they're your family, you probably want to ask them, hey, did you file a tax return this year to get that money? If not, you might want to share this video with them and say, hey, make sure you watch that video to the end because it's very important. Yeah, because if not, they're going to literally miss out on thousands of dollars. And you could see here, Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, warns that the Democrats must deliver more to avoid what she calls, quote, a midterm wipeout. And Senator Bernie Sanders has said this as well. He's technically an independent, but he almost always votes with the Democrats. He's part of the Democratic leadership team, even though he technically has an I by his name for independent. He's in the Democratic leadership team, so that's why he it's kind of a little bit different there. But here's what Senator Elizabeth Warren has to say. She speaks to reporters outside the Senate chamber to discuss the nomination of Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson during procedural votes last week or so. And she said she cautioned Democrats that they must deliver more on promises to avoid a brutal outcome in this fall's midterm elections, saying, quote, Democrats win elections when we show we understand the painful economic realities facing American families and convince voters we will deliver meaningful change. She writes in a New York Times op-ed published here on Monday. I think that's today. Quote, to put it bluntly, if we fail to use the months remaining before the elections to deliver on more of our agenda, Democrats are headed towards big losses in the midterms. Yeah. President Biden did win approval of the $1 trillion infrastructure bill and the American Rescue Plan before that, and also saw Congress pass a virus relief package earlier in his term that I just mentioned. But his hopes of winning approval of his larger social package and climate bill, known as Build Back Better, was stalled by his opposition of Senator Joe Manchin. Polls show his approval ratings faltering, and Democrats are widely worried about losing the House and Senate majorities this fall, especially with rising inflation increasingly on the minds of voters. Elizabeth Warren, who also ran for president's nomination in 2020 as a progressive, has been calling on Biden and fellow Democrats in the House and Senate to do more of what they said they would do. She says, quote, time is running short. We need to finalize a budget reconciliation deal, making giant corporations pay their fair share to fund vital investments in combating climate change and lowering costs for families, which can advance with only 50 Senate votes. She says, quote, other priorities can be done with the president's executive authority or executive orders. She says, quote, it's no secret that I believe we should abolish the filibuster. And remember that Mitch McConnell did that to appoint Supreme Court justices. And ironically, that is how the most recent Supreme Court justice just got elected with only 53 votes. Without that, if Mitch McConnell had not gotten rid of that, they would have needed 60 votes. And she wouldn't have been able to be the first Black Supreme Court justice ever elected. So what's ironic is Mitch McConnell getting rid of that is, as my father would say, his age-old saying, "What's good for the goose is good for the gander." So Republicans got rid of that and elected some Supreme Court justices, and now the Democrats have done it. And again, I'm not from either side, but it's kind of what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah, so it's kind of weird how that works. I wonder if Mitch McConnell is. I wonder what he thinks about that now. It's kind of funny how that works, right? Because she wouldn't have been able to be elected to the Supreme Court justice right now. It would have been stalled. There would have been a vacancy still there because you would have needed 60 votes. It's kind of interesting how that works. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I will keep you up to date here. There's a lot going on here with everything here with multiple states, with stimulus checks, with states pausing gas taxes, grocery taxes, states passing their budgets, lowering taxes. A lot going on here on the state level as well as the federal level here, especially with big midterm elections. There's probably going to be a lot of fireworks going on here. As we get closer and closer to the elections here. So let me know your thoughts. I will keep you up to date here with everything going on here in this country, as well as everything that you need to know about on a daily basis. So make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. And remember, the new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click here to watch my newest video next. And also, I have a video showing how low income and middle income can claim up to $6,900. If you haven't watched that yet, make sure to watch that video here as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.